Are you giving a sales talk or a sales conversation? Back when I first got into sales, the sales organization I went to work for handed everybody a printed sales talk. And they said, you have to memorize this word for word. Do not say anything except the word for word on the page. So I sat down with every prospect and I was, hi, my name is Kate. Let me tell you what I'm doing. I mean, I was just like a robot. And actually, I just gave a big monologue. It was like a 45-minute, I did all the talking, talk. The first time the customer even had a word in edgewise is when they told me no at the end of my presentation. I went through these motions for years and years, and even the experienced top producers were still taught to give a word for word sales talk. It's amazing we even sold anything. Finally, the light bulb went off and I realized, what am I doing? I've got to engage with these customers. They need to be doing the talking. I need to be asking them questions, listening to the answers, and seeing what their need is, what their problems are, and then tailoring my demonstration based on what their needs. And if I can't really find a need, then I need to get the heck out and go find a better prospect. So I want to go through what are the differences between a sales talk and a sales conversation. A sales talk is where you are doing 90% of the talking. You go in and you're like, hi, my name is so-and-so. I'm with such and such company. Here's the reasons everyone's getting this. Here's why it's so awesome. And then during your presentation, you're talking. You might ask a few vague questions that get yeah or uh-huh answers, but that's about it. A sales conversation is where it's 50-50, or maybe even you're doing 30-40% of the talking and the customer is actually talking more than you. How that works is you go in, you ask a bunch of questions. How long have you lived here? How long have you worked here? Tell me about yourself. Tell me about your organization. And then the way you set up your presentation is you say, hey, Bob, you know what? I don't know much about your company. I'm going to ask a ton of questions, kind of see what you guys got going on. And if I have something that kind of can help you out, I'll share that with you. Cool? So I'm going to ask you a bunch of detailed questions, learn more about your organization, and then see if there's something that I can show you that can help solve those problems. Cool? And they're like, yeah. And it's like usually at least 10 detailed questions, and they're not yeah, nah answers. Let me give you an example. So back when I sold educational books, the question we were taught to ask is, how are your kids doing in school? And the generic, lame answer was good. I mean, what parent's gonna say, oh, my kid's doing awful? Everybody would just said good. Well, good doesn't tell me anything. It doesn't tell me if they're making straight A's, if they're on the honor roll, if they're making C's, F's. I don't know what good means. Also, there was a question we were taught to ask is, how much homework do they have? A lot. Well, to some people, a lot is 3 hours a day of homework, and other people, a lot of homework is 1 hour a week. So what I started doing is asking, okay, let me talk about Billy. Let's talk about his grades. First of all, is he making all A's, A's and B's, A's, B's and C's? What kind of grades is he making? Oh, he's making A's and B's? Okay. Well, what is he making his A's in? What is he making his B's in? What subjects give him the toughest time? What subjects do he have the most homework in? What subjects do you, Mom, have the hardest time helping him with? How much time does he spend on math every night? What about science? What about language? I mean, I could really get into the details, and then in a whole collection of reference books, I could actually tailor my demonstration to exactly what that family's needs were. But prior to that, if I was just blazing through some just random generic questions, I really learned nothing about that family, and I was just kind of shooting in the dark, showing some generic demonstration to them. And my closing percentage reflected that. I only sold maybe 1 out of 5, and then once I started getting into the details, I was selling 4 out of 5. I mean, that's huge. The next key is actually listening to the answers. So I would train a bunch of salespeople to ask detailed questions, and then I'd go follow them in the field, and they would actually ask those questions, but then they weren't listening to the answers. They were still programmed into that monologue, memorized sales talk. So the key is not only to ask the questions, but to listen to see what the answers are. And as you're getting the answers, ask yourself, okay, I can solve this problem. Or if whatever their answers are, if you're like, gosh, I really can't solve, or they either don't have a problem or I can't solve their problem, then you wrap up quickly and move on to the next best prospect. And then the third thing is the difference between a sales talk and a sales conversation is a sales talk is you're just showing the same product over and over and over to the same people. A sales conversation, if you ask good questions, listen to the answers, then the third piece of the puzzle is you tailor your presentation and your product or service based on that person's needs. So that is how you double, triple your sales, is completely change the selling environment from a monologue, memorized sales talk to a conversation where you're asking really good questions, listening to the answers, and then tailoring your demonstration accordingly. Okay, if you found this helpful, comment below, subscribe, stay in touch. Good luck out there, and I'll see you soon. Bye.